What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Joey, right? Repping the Mermaids today and joining us to play some poll perception. We've got our friend Jorge Martin. For those of you that do not know Jorge, get with the freaking program. You can find him on Twitter at Jorge Martin17. It is in the description to this YouTube video. Wherever you're watching, you can find it down there. He is a fantasy football and analyst and writer at Yahoo Fantasy, RotoWire, Fantasy Pros, and Fantasy Points. He is the founder of Familia FFB, and you can catch him on the most recent episode of the Yahoo Fantasy Football Podcast with Matt Harmon. Jorge, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today.
Mis amigos, thank you for having me. I always love to be on here, and thank you to our amigo Craig Reith, who informed me that this is my 8th appearance on here.
Yeah, we got Craig, our chat statistician, in here. He keeps track of all the stats. Jorge is making his
1-4. Oh, I got to change that.
1-4, but you got to win in games overall. Looking for your first poll perception win today. I think the very first time you came on, we played poll perception, but we haven't played it again since.
I do remember, and I actually had a great time on that one. I feel like I lost a really, really close battle.
We'll have to get Craig will have the official score in there somewhere, I'm sure. We got Albert stopping by in the chat with the hello, everyone. What's up, Albert?
Albert. What's up, buddy?
Twin with the yo. Welcome in, Twin. Dame saying morning, FYF family. I guess morning. If you just woke up, it's morning. One time in middle school, somebody told me a day could have 30 hours if you woke up really early and went to bed really late. And that was a long, frustrating conversation.
My brain's broken. I mean, it was already broken, but now it's really just
I'm trying to compute that.
I think in their 11-year-old brain, a day started when you woke up and ended when you went to bed. So if you woke up at like 11 p.m. and went to bed at like, I don't know what that math is, 30 hours later, then your day's 30 hours. But science disagrees. Dame, hyped to see Jorge in here. And Jay, also hyped to see Jorge. You got a cheering section in the chat already.
Oh, my goodness.
Everyone's cheering against me except for one person who never is.
Except for Dustin. Always hashtag team Joey. Jay coming in with the Jorge is a wonderful human. Indeed, he is. And we got our friend JL, who is very busy right now conducting a full-scale train heist. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud. So JL, best of luck to you, and I can't wait to see the movie that follows. Also, Dustin say there's way too much oven mitt representation on my screen. Hashtag Grimace Gang. There's no Grimace Gang in here at all. It's all oven mitts today, baby. Dave stopping by in the chat. What's up, Dave? Welcome in. And we got our friend Andrew in here as well. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, my friend? How you doing, buddy?
Orale.
Dame also said, afternoon, FYF family. It's morning somewhere, Dame. I think that's how time zones work.
In Hawaii, it's still morning.
In Hawaii, it's still morning. So if you're in Hawaii, aloha to you. We had a question from Griffin in here before we get into our game. Grim had 2 questions for us. Part 1, want to know if the 49ers signing of Jeremy McNichols will take any stats away from CMC? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think you can almost disregard that entirely for CMC's value. But the second part I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. If Kareem Hunt signs with the Saints, which I believe the report is that it's expected now. I got that little notification today. How would this affect Alvin Kamara's value? So, Jorge, I'll throw this one to you first. Kareem Hunt's not a nobody. Yesterday on the show, we mentioned he's probably part of the top tier of the free agent running backs available, maybe the end of it. But what does this mean for Alvin Kamara and the other backs in New Orleans?
Well, I wonder if it's just more of a security blanket for the first part of the season. And could it be something? I know Kendrick Miller was a little bit banged up there for a little bit. And maybe they're hedging a little bit. I didn't love what I saw from Kareem Hunt last year. And on top of it, he was banged up. So I don't know could he take some time, some carries away the first 3 weeks, some carries away from Jamal Williams or Kendrick Miller? Possible. But I think in the long term, I think I'm really looking for Kamara to not get as many carries, but I think he's going to be getting plenty of targets in that system.
Joey, do you have any more reservations about the New Orleans running backs because of the addition of Hunt, or are you more in line with Jorge here?
I want to see the contract. I imagine it's going to be pretty low, and the Saints might just cut him after Kamara gets back. Because if Miller's healthy and Jamal Williams is healthy, with Kamara, that's all the 3 running backs you really, truly need. And if there's any type of big contract for Hunt, I would be really shocked. This really didn't move the needle too much for me, to be honest.
Dustin.
It did Jamal Williams and Kendra Miller. Like I'm off them a little bit more than I was before already. I thought Jamal Williams had a really good opportunity to start with Miller picking up that injury. Something really good for the first 3 weeks with Hunt there. Just going to take a little bit away.
Dustin, not so worried about Hunt in that offense. Thinks Hunt is trash. And Joey, I'm with you. It doesn't ruin Kendra Miller and Jamal Williams, but it does take some of the shine off, and it makes it a little bit more uncertain. But maybe that uncertainty lead to some draft day value if you have some confidence in one of those guys coming out as the number 2 back behind Kamara.
It's like you're going to the movies and you get a large popcorn and like the butter runs out halfway through when you're putting it on. You're like, that's still going to be good, but it's not as good as it could be.
Only if there's still a little salt on it. But yeah, then when the butter runs out, it's like what the thing that, you know.
Did you say assault? Jorge. Jorge.
Well, we've got Andrew in here saying
it's what happens in LA.
Don't forget about Taysom Hill's role in the ground game too. Yeah, you know, then that's 5 running backs.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
When you look at,
I'm grabbing Taysom Hill as my 3rd tight end everywhere I can.
Chris Olave is going to get like 20 rushes. So, you know, everyone's getting involved.
I made myself angry again yesterday by pulling up Taysom Hill's stats from last season. Like the fact that he was fantasy relevant and he caught like I think like 1 pass the entire year as a tight end is absolutely stupid. He's my enemy. Dustin or Craig came in here with some updates. So on your very first showing on Poll Perception, the score was 20-12. So 12 is often a winning score in this game. And then again, Jorge, with 2 high scores that weren't quite enough to get it, you got 16 points against Jay and Eric on November 8th, 2022. So some high showings. We'll see if that can turn into a W for you today. And Toronto Dave coming in saying white cheddar seasoning on popcorn is my jam. White cheddar popcorn seasoning on everything. Just put that on pasta, put that on mashed potatoes. It is
a nice salmon fillet. Yeah, white cheddar.
On a nice salmon fillet, on your sushi, on your raw sea urchin. Well, guys, today we brought Jorge here not just to talk about all the things you could put white cheddar popcorn seasoning on, but to also play a game that we call Poll Perception. As you may have figured out from our previous mentions of his scores on the game Poll Perception, I'm going to explain how this game works ever so shortly. But before we do that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our guest Jorge, fix that immediately. You can find him on Twitter at Jorge Martin 17. It's his name right below his face on the screen, then plus the number 17. The link is also in the description to our YouTube video, whether you're watching on BSN or on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube. Wherever you're watching, go and hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here. And the easiest way to make sure you don't miss us live every day at 3 p.m. is to hit that little notification bell on the same page that we're on. And one last reminder before we get started, if you go to fantasyalarm.com/draft right now, you can start your free 7-day trial of Fantasy Alarm's All-Pro subscription and get that fantasy football draft guide and cheat sheet free. Again, that is fantasyalarm.com/draft. Joey, do you have something to share with the class?
I do, Craig. You know the whole meme that's like, oh, you had me there for the first half? What's the difference between jelly and jam? I was like, oh my God, don't put that comment up. But then he followed it up with something appropriate.
Do you know the difference between jam and jelly? Jam uses the whole fruit, while jelly just uses the juice. Now, don't ask me about preservatives or marmalades, though, because that's where I get lost. And Scamper said white cheddar popcorn seasoning on white cheddar is highly overlooked. I couldn't agree more. We'll get more into some white cheddar talk as the show goes on. A reminder to everybody watching, if you've got fantasy questions for us, throw them in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer them throughout the show in between the rounds of our game. But before we do that, let's get into the rules of Poll Perception. The game today is going to test our contestants' knowledge, understanding, and how in touch they are with the public landscape surrounding fantasy football in the NFL. I found 7 polls online that are going to test your knowledge on this, and I'm going to ask them to our contestants one by one. So on your turn, I may ask you, what percentage of people chose side A, Saquon Barkley, over side B, DeAndre Hopkins, in a dynasty league? Whoever's turn it is
82%.
If it's Joey's turn, Joey's going to give me the number 82%, meaning that's how many people he thinks chose side A in that poll. The closer Joey is to the actual number, the more points he's going to get. 10 if he's exactly right, 1 if he's 15 away, and it scales up within that range. Now, Jorge, before I reveal the answer to him, you're going to have an opportunity to score points as well. You're going to do this by taking the line Joey set and guessing whether the actual answer is over or under the line that he set. So if you think more people chose side A, you'll take over. If you think fewer people chose side A, you're going to take the under. Get that right, and you will score 2 points. We're going to go through 6 polls like this, 3 rounds where you guys are going to take turns guessing the number and then betting on that line, guessing the over-under before we get to our 7th and final poll where there's no more of this over-under nonsense. Both of you are going to be guessing a number by writing it down on whatever you have available for side A. Whoever's closest is going to get 5 points unless they're exactly right, in which case they'll get 10. And whoever has the most points at the end of that is our champion. We're giving out oven mitt money today, baby. No more of that Grimace coin on the show. Mint money coming your way. As long as you've got that.
That'd be good.
I tell you, because I want to be a hand model like George Costanza, so I walk around with oven mitts all the time.
Beautiful. The oven mitts should keep you protected. They are fire resistant at the very least. Also, Dustin coming in here saying marmalades have bits of the actual fruit. Preserves are whole fruits in a sugar syrup. Wow. And then jam is like a marmalade where they finished blending it.
And marmalade's made by bears and trees.
The marmalade.
At least the movies that I watch, all the marmalade I've ever seen is made by bears and trees.
Oh, and there's that movie about the dog marmalade.
There's a dog marmalade movie?
Just kidding. It's called Marmalade. What? It was a joke.
Marmalade made out of dogs.
All right. Well, guys, we are going to get into our game.
Oh, Marmaduke. Let me grab one off the shelf.
Joey, you are going to be up first in today's game. Jorge, meaning you are going to go second. Are you ready for poll number 1?
I am. I need to redeem myself. I've been pooping the bed on poll perception lately. I need to get in touch with the people.
Also, Dave said hashtag Mitt Money, and then Twin said Mitt Romney, rap name, Mitt Money, baby. He's got them binders full of women. It's the name of his first single. That's what he's dropping out there. All right. Joey, you ready for your first question?
Oh, let's go, buddy.
Here's what I want to know. Which side do you prefer in a 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty League? Side A is Chris Olave and Sam Laporta. Side B is Treylon Burks and George Kittle. What percentage of people chose the Chris Olave and Sam Laporta side of this trade?
I think this is going to be a slam dunk on side A. I'm just trying to imagine how much of a slam dunk. I think Chris Olave beats out Treylon Burks pretty much in anyone's book. Pretty simply. And Sam Laporta is one of the most beloved tight ends right now that you can draft. Now, George Kittle, I'd much rather have George Kittle, but at this point in his career, because it's dynasty, I don't know. I'm going to say, I want to give a good number so I get some points. I'm going to say 69%. Be a bad boy today.
69% from Joey, and Scampers also letting us know.
I don't want to be a bad boy.
Scott Simpson, my Canton roommate, will be very approval of that.
Well, Joey, you have not locked it in 72. Yet. 72?
72. Yeah.
Okay. Well, your bad boy status has been revoked for the time being, but you still have plenty of moments on this show to be naughty.
Oh God.
Jorge, do you think the actual percentage of people that chose side A in this poll is over or under Joey's guess of 72%?
This would have been, I would have seen this as much closer before the DeAndre Hopkins trade. But I think actually Joey's first number was better. I think it's going to be slightly under 72.
Slightly under from Jorge in this one. Well, we got some guesses in the chat. And before we get to the guesses, Scamper's letting us know that you can't marmalade out to Led Zeppelin. That's another difference between the two. Dustin in here was 74% as his guess. Dave was 72, right in line with Joey. Scamper says 91. Ladarius says 67, so thinking along the same path as you, Jorge. Andrew said 81%. Burks stinks side B badly. Oh, oops, sinks. Didn't mean to say you stink, Burks. Albert with 81%. Wow. Craig with 79. Grim with 63. And Twin guessing 65%. So guesses are a little bit on both sides of you here, Joey.
Wow.
The correct answer, the percentage of people that chose side A, Chris Olave and Sam Laporta over Treylon Burks and George Kittle, was 86%. So, Joey, that switch Earns you a
same
point.
here.
Had you not switched, you would have gotten no points for that one.
Yeah.
You are going to get 1 point. Jorge, unfortunately, for picking the wrong side, nothing. But it is not that big of a deficit to come back from. Before I move on to the next poll, I did want to ask you guys about some of the pieces. Joey, you mentioned Sam Laporta being like a darling of dynasty managers right now. Are you in on Sam Laporta? Are you part of that contingency that loves drafting him right now?
Absolutely. I drafted him at flex this weekend, and I had already drafted a tight end before him. And don't ask me who that tight end is because I don't remember. But I took Sam Laporta in the 14th round. He has an opportunity in the first 6 weeks of the season with Jameson Williams sitting out to really make an impact on this team. This Lions offense doesn't have a clear-cut tight end, and Sam Laporta has the pedigree. He was at Iowa. They know how to breed them tight ends to get on the field and be a rare rookie tight end that does succeed. I am in on him, and I don't think you can beat him at his value.
I tend to agree with you, Joey. I'm in, and you don't really even have to be in to draft him. Jorge, how do you feel about Sam Laporta and this, what is considered to be an ascending Lions offense?
Oh, I love the Lions offense. I just think that early in the season when Jameson Williams is out, I'm more worried that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take a lot of those targets that might go to Sam Laporta early, just because I just think tight ends always seem to take a little while. I mean, Kyle Pitts definitely did deliver, but I'm kind of thinking Gibbs might take a little bit early, but I like Laporta on the back end and long term. Gosh, I mean, in this offense, he's, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody being young, it's going to be wheels up on the Lions for the next few years.
God,
it was Darren Waller.
The realization halfway through the offseason that all of this excitement has to be transferred to Jared Goff made it so much more fun for me. You know what I mean? Like once I accepted, like, you know what? Just be excited about Jared Goff. Like you're excited about all these other pieces. Be excited about Jared Goff. The offseason became way more fun, and drafts became way more fun because it's not hard to draft Jared Goff usually compared to other quarterbacks in that same value range. One last thing before we move on from this one, Jorge, I did want to ask you about Treylon Burks. Now that DeAndre Hopkins is in town there in Tennessee, I've seen very split opinions from this automatically relegates him to the 2 in a Derrick Henry first offense to also he's going to beat out DeAndre Hopkins for the 1. DeAndre Hopkins is washed. Where do you stand on his fantasy value for the 2023 season?
No, DeAndre Hopkins is not washed. I mean, he's still a target earner. He's going to be the clear number 1 target in this game, in this offense. I look at Treylon Burks. I like him. I think it's good that he's going to be able to kind of watch and kind of pick DeAndre Hopkins' brain and, hopefully improve his game a little bit better. He will benefit from the fact that that Hopkins is taking the number 1 cornerback, but I'm not burying Burks, but he's definitely the number 2. And you know what? He might even be the number 3. Chika Okonkwo, really, really flashed there at the end of the season, and he's been one of my guys for tight ends this season.
Are you flirting with me? Is that why you said that? Dave,
I'm getting Chiggy with it. We're going to get Chiggy with it this weekend.
Dave said the Hopkins signing hurt Chig. Potentially, unless you're subscribing to the universe that Jorge proposed at the end there. And that's the one that I would like to prescribe to. Well, guys, the score is 1-0. Still a super close game. We're going to move on to poll number 2 here. And Jorge, this one is yours. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
Okay. Another 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty League, but this time, Side A is Gabe Davis and a 2024 first. Side B is DJ Moore and Rashad Bateman. What percentage of people chose the Gabe Davis and 2024 first side of this trade?
Wow.
We got some spicy ones today.
Yeah, I love DJ Moore. I think this is going to be much closer than the last one. That 2024 first with the quarterbacks that are out there, Caleb Williams and Drake May and Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver. I'm thinking that side is going to be 55%.
55% on side A, Jorge?
Yes.
Okay. He's taking 55%. Joey, do you think the actual answer is over or under Jorge's guess at 55%?
I think it's going to be under. And DJ Moore and Gabe Davis are 2 years apart in age. DJ Moore's 26. Gabe Davis is 24. This is Dynasty. I think DJ Moore is much rather have DJ Moore. He's the wide receiver 1 for the Bears right now. with emerging Justin Fields. Yeah, I'd rather have the first over Bateman. Now I'm thinking.
What were you doing before? Just talking?
I was not. I was just trying to look cool. I'm still gonna say under. That's slightly under.
Joey taking the slightly under on this one. Well, we got some answers in the chat. Toronto Dave with 55%, agreeing with you, Jorge. Mr. Scamper says 69%. Dustin with 47. You like to see that. Joey Craig with 35. Andrew with 39%. Albert with 45%. Grim with 34. Twin on the other side with 61%. Ladarius with 41%. And then Dave letting you know, you did look cool, Joey. You looked so cool.
Thanks, Dave.
You didn't just try. Well, let me get this poll back up here before I reveal the answer. The percentage of people that chose the Gabe Davis in 2024 first side of this poll was 33%. DJ Moore and Rashad Bateman were the winning side on this. Jorge, you were correct when you said that this one was going to be a lot closer, but not quite that close.
Wow.
Jorge, if you were voting on this poll or if you were in this situation, would you prefer the side with the first because of the quarterbacks you mentioned?
Because of the quarterbacks and the uncertainty with Rashad Bateman's foot. I really thought that would have played with people. I'm not liking the fact that, he missed a big chunk of last year and now he's starting the year hurt. So DJ Moore, I love him. I think he's going to take Justin Fields to a new level. I just thought that the possibility of that 2024 first was going to be really, really sexy for people.
I was surprised this one wasn't a little bit closer. I understand I value DJ Moore significantly higher than Gabe Davis, but there's still a lot of question marks with DJ Moore as well, right? He's not question free heading into this season. He's going into an offense that was one of the least pass heavy offenses, not just last season, but in the last 10 seasons. And we're hoping for that switch and assuming that he's the one there. But man, I do think I end up on side B, but I thought this would be closer. Joey, are you nervous at all for DJ Moore, or is it just hype with him joining Justin Fields there in Chicago?
If you go back and rewatch some of the FYF shows where I talked about DJ Moore 2 months ago, which I know a lot of you do, and I really appreciate it. I see the comments. Thank you so much. I was kind of down on DJ Moore because I was thinking, you know what? If he doesn't get the volume, because of what you said, Simon, the Bears are just not throwing a whole lot. If he doesn't get that volume, he's not going to be able to produce. And then I started looking at his time in Carolina. He got a high target share, but his volume was kind of low. So I think he can get the same amount of volume in Chicago, even though the target share might be a little bit lower. So I'm not that nervous about him. I think Justin Fields, like Jorge said, he's going to take him to a whole new level this year. Those two are going to be best friends. They're going to go on kayaking trips in the future together. I'm just loving their adventure together.
Can we keep them off of kayaks? That sounds dangerous. And I want Justin Fields and DJ Moore on the field for every game this year.
But it's not like not rapids. They're just like just like at a spring. They're at a spring.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Wear gloves so they don't get blisters, and we'll call it good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grim.
Big hats. They don't get sunburns. It's nice.
Grim was the closest on that one with 34%, only 1 percentage point away. Nice job. And Andrea stopping by after that poll to say hello to everyone. What's up, Andrea?
Hello to Andrea today. Hello.
Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. One more player in this that I did want to ask about was Gabe Davis, because I feel like last year he was hyped as the breakout wide receiver, and you were either in on Gabe Davis or you weren't on Gabe Davis. And he just did exactly what Gabe Davis does. He had games where he scored, it seemed like 75 touchdowns off of every target that was going his way every time he looked at the screen, and then he disappeared for 4 weeks. Yet I feel like I see the hype building a little bit again this year. Joey, what role do you think Gabe Davis has in this Bills passing offense?
I think he is their wide receiver too. But the difference between this year and last year is he's being drafted at a correct value now. Last year, he was going 3rd, 4th round, and that's just insane. I think there is some hype around him, but his draft value has not risen higher than maybe the 6th or 7th round. So go out there, give Gabe Davis, especially in best ball leagues. Like, he's the kind of guy you want in best ball with a 6th round pick. He is a home run hitter. Every other week you're going to get 20, 25 points out of him. And that's what you thrive on for best ball. So I like Gabe Davis a lot more. And last year I was out, and he was I mentioned my daughter's was at her daycare teacher's nephew. And I would have to bite my tongue.
You still didn't draft him last year.
No, I didn't. But this year, I have taken a little bit of Gabe Davis.
No, Joey, I
like his value a lot.
I completely agree with you. It's not that the player has changed, but where we're drafting him is changing. Well, guys, we're going to move into poll number 3 here, round 2. Back to Joey. Joey,
right,
are you ready for your next poll?
I already said let's go.
Okay.
I don't want to be impatient with Simon, but
Well, we got one more 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty poll coming your way.
Okay.
And this one is side A: Justin Fields, Jameson Williams, Kadarius Toney, and the 2024 107 and 110.
Oh.
Side B is Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson. What percentage of people chose the Justin Fields side A of this trade?
Okay. So I don't think Fields for Lamar is too crazy, and Dynasty Superflex probably around the same tier. So that's I'm going to just say that's a wash. Is Justin Jefferson worth Jameson Williams, Kadarius Toney, the 107 and the 110? You could throw Kadarius Toney out of this because I'm just not that excited about him. And I think people are really cooling off of him. I think people are up on Sky Moore now, stalling to try to figure this out.
I'm with those people on the Sky Moore train.
I still don't know if it's enough for Jefferson. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of capital there. I'm going to go right down the middle, 50-50.
50-50
from cheap.
From Joey on this one. Well, on that last poll, sorry, I forgot to add the score for that last poll as well. Joey did earn 2 points for correctly picking the under on the 55%, which means the score is going to be 3-0 as we head into this one.
This is a tough poll, Simon.
Oh, well, I'll get that ticker updated in a moment. Joey guessed 50% on this one. Jorge, do you think the actual answer is over or under Joey's guess of 50% on side A?
It's going to be under. I think side B wins decidedly. I just think Justin Jefferson's a Hall of Famer, and I think there's so much gas behind Lamar Jackson and the Todd Monken offense this year, taking a new step, taking him to a new level as a passer. And I do love Justin Fields, but those back half of the first round picks do not excite me. Kadarius Toney does not excite me, and the camp reports out of Jameson Williams, who I have drafted a lot in best ball and in the Scott Fish Bowl. But I just think Jefferson and Jackson that wins that deal by quite a bit.
Well, we got under from Jorge on this one, 50% from Joey, and we have some guesses in the chat, and they are all over the place. Grim Fan all the way down at 0%.
Wow.
We have Craig with 50% as his guess. Mr. Scamper's guessing 17%. Andrew thinks it is 41%. Dustin coming in with 88%. Ladarius saying 26%. Albert guessing 12%. And we got our friend Spencer in here showing up. What's up, Spencer? Welcome in.
Spencer, what's up, buddy?
Whereas the actual percentage of people that chose the Justin Fields, Jameson Williams, Kadarius Toney, and the 2024 107 and 110 side of this trade was 9%. Jorge, you were absolutely right. This was very heavy on the Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson side.
I get it.
Joe, as soon as I said that, your face didn't say you asshole. It said, yeah, that checks out. I'm not mad that I got that result.
I think I diagnosed it right. I just didn't know how to put a number on it. It's just, like I said, all that right there, still not enough for Jefferson for me. But if you're a rebuilding team, I think this is the kind of trade you can make if you need 2 wide receivers and you need some picks. Because you could take that 110, and if you've got the 103 and you need a quarterback, put that 110 and the 103 together and get that 101, Yeah,
you can move up.
So,
Jorge, would you sniffed this one out? Would you be on the Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson side of this?
Oh, totally. If this were proposed to me and I was on the Fields Jameson side, I would run to hit accept on that one. I think just to get Jefferson. I mean, a friend of mine who's a very, very successful fantasy baseball player told me you always want the best player in the deal, and Justin Jefferson's the best player in that deal. And I think you might even be getting the second best player in Lamar.
I was going to say, Joey, I thought brought up an interesting point that Lamar and Fields and dynasty value are close to a wash. Jorge, if you're on the clock, which one of those two are you drafting? Are you drafting Fields or are you drafting Lamar?
Lamar.
Joey, is it Lamar for you as well?
I would probably take Fields in a dynasty league.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I said it's more of a wash for me because it was dynasty. If it was redraft, no, I'm going to take Lamar. But in dynasty, I'll take Fields.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Todd Monken does in this offense there in Baltimore. It could be money for Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys,
I'm excited. I'm excited about both of them actually. For this year, I think I really hope Justin Fields takes. Maybe he's not Jalen Hurts last year or Josh Allen 3 years ago, but I think there's going to be some good stuff in Chicago.
Also, I see Albert in here. I think was the closest with 12%. Nice job, Albert,
That's
on
right.
that one.
Albert,
we did.
Also, I apologize to everyone watching. The score is not updating. There's something going wrong. Keep getting an error, but I will update you guys on the score after each round. After that round, Joey, you have 3 points, did not move at all. But Jorge, by correctly picking the over-under, you're going to get 2 points for that one, making this a close game of 3-2. And we are moving into your next poll. Poll number 4. You ready?
Do it. Vámonos.
Here is what I would like to know. Which player would you prefer in Superflex PPR Dynasty? Side A is DeAndre Swift. Side B is Isaiah Pacheco. What percentage of people chose DeAndre Swift in this poll?
%42.
42% on the DeAndre Swift side. Jorge, are you locking that in?
Yeah, I'm locking it in. I think he's a couple years younger. Pacheco really flashed last year in the Super Bowl. I'm a little worried about that shoulder injury, that the shoulder surgery that he had, but I think people are going to be gassed up and also looking at DeAndre Swift going to a different team, already on his second team.
All right, well, Joey, Jorge set the line for you at 42%. Are you taking the over or under on his guess there?
Jorge said a really good line. He's going to get some points on this for sure. Well, which player would I prefer? I might, if Pacheco didn't have that hand injury going on right now, I'd probably just say slam dunk Pacheco. But there's a lot of love for Rashad Penny right now for Swift to interfere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over. I think it's maybe just a little more 50-50. I don't know.
Over for Joey on this one. Well, we got some guesses in the chat here. Toronto Dave coming in, guessing 67%. Andrew said 37% choosing Swift. Craig thinks it's 60%. All our favorite chat cat, Mr. Scampers, thinks it's 56%. We got my mom guessing 37%. What's up, Mom?
Hey, Mary Jo.
And Andrea with 50%. Grim thinks it's 38%. And Ladarius could swear it's 62%. And Dustin said 57% because people are dumb. Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose the DeAndre Swift side of this trade over Isaiah Pacheco was Dustin. You're going to think they're even dumber than you gave them credit for. 79% of people chose DeAndre Swift over Pacheco in this poll in a Superflex PPR Dynasty League. There is shock
the most
on the
surprising
screen
one of the
right
day.
now.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm supposed. Oh man, there. How far apart are they getting drafted? Am I allowed to look that up now? The question.
Yeah, you can look it up now. While you're looking that up,
Okay.
Jorge, I'll throw this one to you. That shock in there. I'm guessing you would take Pacheco over Swift in Dynasty right now, or you're just shocked by the margin.
I'm shocked by the margin. Just absolutely. I'm 50-50 on the two of them. But I am taking Pacheco over Swift from the standpoint that I know that Pacheco is going to be in one of the, if not the best offense in the NFL, one of the best offenses for at least the next 3 seasons. I don't know where DeAndre Swift's going to be in 2024. So from a dynasty standpoint, I want to know that Pacheco is going to be. I want Pacheco in with Patrick Mahomes handing the ball to him.
Joey, are you in agreement here? Because you had a similarly shocked reaction when the results of this one were posted.
So right now, ADP Rashad White is going between them, but Swift's actually going first. I might prefer Pacheco. I think the hand injury could heal itself up, but I'd like to make a prediction on this show right now. I think DeAndre Swift and Isaiah Pacheco, week 10, score the exact same amount of points. That's the prediction I'm making right now on the show.
Are they both on bye in week 10?
I'm with Joey. I'm with Joey on that
one. Joey, we'll see. We're going to cut just that bit. And then at the end of the season, like after week 17, we'll play that. No one will even remember it was their bye week.
No.
All right.
I
Well,
won $50 off my father-in-law on a bet like that because he didn't like Tony Romo, and the Cowboys bye week was the following week, and he was just talking trash. And I said to him, I bet you $50 Tony Romo does not throw an interception next week. And he's like, okay, I'll take that right now because he had thrown 2 in that game. I'm like, all right. And so I didn't say a word. I just let it fester. And then like the following Sunday, I get a phone call. Hey.
Send it over. You agreed to it. Well, guys, after that, the score is going to be 5-2 in Joey's favor. He got 2 more points for correctly picking the over-under on that one. But again, this is still a super close game. Anybody could still win this. Toronto Dave said week 10, Queen Bee is what Joey's calling here. And Dave's saying in the chat, I'm off Pacheco. So there are people who just are off Pacheco, maybe because of the hand injury or nervous about the other people in that running back room.
I tried putting Pacheco.
Well, he does. He's also dealing with the shoulder.
Cold turkey. Is it shoulder too?
Yeah, he's dealing with shoulder surgery, which a lot of times it slows guys down on their upper body training when they're doing that. So I think it's a tough one. It might be a tough start to the season this year, and it might even be kind of an uneven year. But I don't know. I'll still take my chances with the young guy.
He's still the guy I predict to have the most carries in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. So you can't be like too upset about that. Herm's down here with the Hola Amigos. What's up, Herms?
Herms, my
Orale, orale.
And before we move on, Grim wanted to know, is Swift still an RB1? Jorge, is Swift a top 12 running back for you in any format?
No.
Joey?
No.
In 2 points per Swift leagues, yes. Barely. Barely.
How many does Taylor Swift get?
So many.
She's the 101 in that one.
So many. She's selling out.
By the way, I'm seeing her tomorrow night. Closing night.
No way. Oh man, that's gonna.
So you guys gonna go to dinner or what's going on?
Oh yeah, well yeah, she's having us in and everything like that. No, we're me and my wife and oldest daughter went on Saturday, but oldest daughter's left for college on Sunday, and so 2 youngest, my twins and we've got tickets for tomorrow night, and we're gonna get there way early. They're dressing up. They got me a Swifty Dad shirt.
Okay. That's
that
awesome.
I'm gonna wear. They made bracelets for me to train. Huh?
Did she dive into the stage?
Oh, I think so. I hope so.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I hope so. She's gonna dive into the stage. She's gonna walk on water. Everything. We're gonna give her all the money.
Everything I've heard about this tour is that it's absolutely incredible. That it's
Tim
just
went, didn't he?
that it's a magnificent performance that she put together. I'm excited for you, Jorge.
3+ hours. So she's like 3 hours and 20 minutes that she went. That's like Springsteen level.
The cardio that you have to do to prepare for a tour like that. Not just to do it once, but to do it every night for like 2 years. Her tour is like 2 years long. God,
my daughter said that they actually that she actually trained playing the songs while walking on a treadmill. That's how she got ready for this tour.
That's how I train for pole perception.
Also, Scamper said, leave your silverware at home. Yeah, we learned yesterday, no silverware, and Twin said, and no costumes.
No costumes.
But we never
that's
said
at Levi Stadium. SoFi might let you do it. I assume you're going to SoFi, right?
Yeah, going to SoFi. Yeah. Going to SoFi. My girls have like different dresses for different eras. So okay. Yeah, there will be no masks. So we should be okay.
Beautiful.
Don't hide your beautiful face, Jorge. Don't put a mask on.
No. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be all good.
All right.
I may not have a voice when I see you guys in Canton, though.
That's okay. We'll know that you donated it to Taylor Swift. It's a worthy cause to donate your voice to. Well, guys, after that round, the score is 5-2 in Joey's favor. Which means we are back to Joey for the next question, though. This is the first question of round 3. And as we get into this, I'm going to introduce a new mechanic. His name is Greg, and he fixed my Toyota minivan in 2001. He did a great job, and I'd like to recommend him to everybody. We also have a new rule that gets introduced at this point in the game. The rule is there are 2 more options whenever selecting over or under. You can now choose way over or way under as well.
Oh, okay.
This means that you think your opponent is more than 15 percentage points away. If they are, you are going to get double the points, 4 points for correctly picking it. But it is a double or nothing mechanic. If you say way over and they are 15 percentage points or less away, you're going to get 0 points since you went for it on the way over or way under. So you can use it to try to come back. You can use it to try to get ahead. But just know there is a risk attached to it. Joey, are you ready for your next poll?
Yep.
Well, here it is. Which player would you
Absolutely.
prefer in
Let's go.
Dynasty? Side A is Trey Lance. Side B is Hendon Hooker. What percentage of people said Trey Lance in this poll?
Is this a question posed just to me? Because I would I think Trey Lance would still win this. God, I don't know. Would he? I'll say Trey Lance 61%. This is a tough poll to read. Like, I'm high on Hendon Hooker, but I don't know how much the general public looked into him. And he's not stepping on the field this year at all. So Trey Lance at least has a chance to.
61% from Joey. Jorge,
Yeah.
do you think the actual percentage of people is over or under Joey's guess of 61% here?
I think it's going to be slightly over. I wish I felt better about it being way over because I could use the points, but I think it's just going to be a little higher. I think, Hooker's been out of mind. So I think it's, and Trey Lance still gets talked about. So slightly over.
Slightly over from Jorge here. Well, we got some answers in the chat. Toronto Dave with 92%. Scampers coming in with 66%. Craig with 70%. Herms with 100%, though my preferred answer is pass. Ladarius with 84%. Andrea with 80%. Andrew guessing 53% here. And Albert thinks it's 75%. Craig coming in saying Hendon Hooker is also like 35 years old, I think. So in Dynasty, that hurts his value a little bit. And Grim Fan is Queen being your guess of 61%.
Thank you, Grim. I feel much better about it than I did before I said it. As I was saying it, I should say.
And just right after I said it. Well, we got a guess of 61% and over from Jorge. And the actual percentage of people that chose Trey Lance in this poll was similar to your first poll, Joey. It is 86%. Again, on the Trey Lance side.
I could have gone way.
You could have taken the lead here, but instead, Jorge, you are going to close the gap quite a bit. It is 5-4 now after that poll. Joey, I know you're high on Hendon Hooker. Dynasty, even though he's not going to see the field this year. And you were debating back and forth in your mind which one you would actually take in Dynasty. I'm putting you on the spot now. Which one would you prefer? Is it still Trey Lance?
I don't like being put on the spot. I struggle with this because I feel like both of them could be starting quarterbacks next year. I do think that. I think Goff could. I don't think he should. I think if he has a great season in Detroit, they should absolutely keep him under center and let Hooker spend one more year on the bench. But Lance, man, Simon, I truly don't know which I would do. I would probably take a running back. I'm on the clock.
Jorge, what about you? Are you in on Hendon Hooker on his upside in that offense behind Jared Goff?
I do like him. I just have a feeling that the Lions are going to stick with Goff and sign him and then just keep Hooker as a God, I love saying that name. Just keeping Hooker as a backup for a couple years. And there's a part of me that still thinks someone's going to give Trey Lance a shot, even if it's not in San Francisco, which I'm not closing out the possibility that, hey, you know what? That it might turn to midnight and the glass slipper won't fit anymore for Brock Purdy.
You can see a team like Washington, Atlanta, maybe with like the uncertain, young, unproven quarterbacks, maybe take a shot on Trey Lance. Ladarius was the closest here. Tampa Bay. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, Joey's team.
Ladarius
My hot take is
go for it.
My hot take is Kyler or Trey Lance is the starting quarterback of the Bucs next year. Because I think we're going to mess around and win 3 games.
I thought you still want it.
I do, but I think we're going to mess around and win 3 games and lose the number 1 pick, so we're not going to get him.
Hey, Kyler Murray would be an all-right quarterback there in Tampa Bay. I could see him in that jersey. Shout out Ladarius, the closest one in the chat on that one with 84%. And Dave was pretty close with the 92% as well, only 6 percentage points away. Well, Jorge, we are moving on to our next poll. The score is 5-4, Joey's lead, but this next one is yours. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right. Our penultimate poll in today's game. Which side would you prefer in Superflex Dynasty? Side A is Trevor Lawrence. Side B is Tua Tagovailoa and a 2024 first. What percentage of people chose the Trevor Lawrence side of this poll?
I want the Trevor Lawrence side.
That is a poll.
I am going to. That is a great poll. That first round with Tua, makes it look. I'm still gonna say. I'm gonna say 63% takes Trevor Lawrence.
63% takes Trevor Lawrence. Joey, Jorge has set the line. Now it's up to you. Over, under, way under, or queen bee on 63% on the Trevor Lawrence side.
I'm going to go way under.
Way under from Joey on Jorge's guess of 63%. The score is 5-4. The stakes are high here as we go into our final poll after this. We've got some guesses in the chat, though. Dave guessing 44%. Craig coming in with 35%. Andrea with 75. Albert with 54. And Herm saying, I feel like enough people would be tantalized by the first to make this a weird result. I'm going to say like 56%. Ladarius with 42%. And Griffin saying 35%. I like side B better.
Yeah. On my head's where Ladarius is at with the around 42, 45.
Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Trevor Lawrence in this poll was 66%. Jorge, you are 3 percentage points away, which is going to earn you 5 points, making the score of this game 9-5 going into the final round. And that means whoever is closest on our final poll will be the winner of today's game. Woo! It's coming down to a photo finish in this one.
Love it.
I'm excited. Who was the closest in the chat there?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm very tempted because I have a number written on this paper to play this number, so I don't have to write anything. We'll see.
I think the closest one in the chat might have been 75% from Andrea. Nice job, Andrea, with that
Good job,
guess.
Andrea.
And Jorge, you beat the entire chat. That does not happen often. I'm with Grim.
I know this chat. This is a good chat.
I love Trevor Lawrence, but I think I'm with Grim on this one. I think you give me a free first. I think Tua and Trevor are close enough in value, as much as that hurts, that I'm taking the free first on a quarterback that I perceive has just as much upside as Trevor Lawrence, honestly, in an offense that I trust more. It hurts to say that, but I think I'm on B. Jorge, I see you wincing. I'm guessing you're taking the Lawrence side.
Barely taking the Lawrence side, but I mean, that first on top of Tua, Tua, before he got hurt, he was on his way to 4,800, 5,000 yards and just having a massive season. And I still love those wide receivers. Jalen Waddle, he could grow old with Jalen Waddle throwing passes to him. That's and then getting a first on top of it with the chance at it being one of the quarterbacks or Marvin Harrison. I'd be under 61% of the time that I would be taking Trevor Lawrence.
Man, Joey, what do you think on this one? I saw you nod along with me, but also I know you like Trevor Lawrence.
I'm the Trevor Lawrence guy, and this is enough for me. Absolutely. 2 and a first. Okay. I'll take that. And I'll think twice about it. I'll probably think 3 or 4 times about it.
Yeah, this is one of the ones
first round draft pick in Superflex with Tua. Yep.
You're sitting on it all day, and then at 3 a.m. you're finally hit by the inspiration. You know what? I'm doing it. You wake up, hit accept, and then you go back to bed sleeping nice. Dave in here said the final pull down. We're going to get right into that now. Here is your final poll, guys. You guys have something to write with. Okay? A reminder how this is going to work. Instead of saying it out loud, both of you are going to write down your guess for side A. Whoever is the closest will be our champion today. The question is a simple one. Sleep, food, or dogs? What percentage of people chose sleep in this poll? Sleep, food, or dogs? Side A is sleep. Side B is food. Side C is dogs.
Let's see.
Really testing your NFL knowledge with this one.
Yeah, I have a number written down.
So we're did sleep. Sleep is that one we're talking about?
Yeah, sleep is the one that you're guessing on.
I know which side's going to win.
Okay.
Let me know when you guys have your answers.
Yep.
Joey's got his, Jorge's got his, and I see some rolling in the chat. Let's see your guesses first, guys. Go ahead and reveal them. Jorge with 34% from Jorge and 11% from Joey. So you guys
Dogs
got
is going to be
windows
like 80% of
there.
this.
And there are answers in the chat close to what both of you said. Toronto Dave coming in with 39% on the sleep side. Greg guessing 33.33, thinks it's right down the middle. Ladarius with 45%. Scampers thinks it's 8%. Albert with 27%. Grimfan with 60%. Andrea with 10%. And Tim says, I'll sleep when I'm dogs. Of course, Tim. Also, Bob Harris jumping in here said, I'm so late. Nobody sent me an eagle scream. We'll have one in your mailbox tomorrow morning. Make sure you get here on time. All right.
Do it. He came in.
Joey, I'm teasing him. It's all about the tease before you give the
you
big
should've
eagle
told me.
scream.
Like a howler in Harry Potter.
Exactly. All right. Well, guys, the actual
Name's
percentage
Hermione.
of people that chose good one, Joe.
Thank you.
The actual percentage of people that chose sleep over food and dogs in this poll was no longer 1 in 4. It was 36%. Jorge Martin, you are the champion of today's poll perception by a final score of 14-5. Congratulations,
Good
my
job,
friend.
Jorge.
Did
dogs win this?
The winner of this poll by 2 percentage points was dogs at 38%,
Okay.
sleep at 36%, and food at 26% there.
Was
they should've
48
combined
the
hot
original
dogs and
What I think it is if you pick dogs, you've got the food category covered as well, right? Like if you can only have one of the three, if this is you get one, you're going to live the longest by picking dogs, is how I read this poll.
That's awful. You're gonna eat the dog?
If I have to in a survival
Simon!
situation, not just for fun, but if I'm on an island and it's the only food left, this is alone style. Yeah, I'll do it.
Go find Sancho and look him in the eyes and say, I'm gonna eat you.
You think if we got locked in this house together for a month, he wouldn't eat me? He'd eat me so fast, man, and I'd let him. He deserves the sustenance from my body. Well, besides the dog eating tangent that we've gotten off on, Jorge, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us and notch another victory.
Oh, I'm so proud. Wow. I get to, ride this all the way to Canton.
And Bob Harrison, you're saying just in time for the big Jorge win. And Craig said, great job, Jorge.
Oh, man. Yeah. But I'm wearing Bob's haircut, by the way. So just to make sure. So in his honor, winning in his honor, it's a great thing.
It's a beautiful haircut. One day I'll join you guys. Toronto Dave down here with the big dub for Jorge. And before we go, we've got one more question that I wanted to answer. Jake from State Farm came in with a question for us. It was a dynasty league with contracts, half PPR. He wants to know if he should trade Tyreek Hill for Drake London. 2 years left for Tyreek on the contract. Drake has 4 years and is also $20 less in draft capital. Jorge, looking at this, would you rather have Tyreek for 2 years or Drake for 4 years at $20 less?
I want the 4 years and the cheaper contract, and maybe I'm able to buy somebody similar to Tyreek.
Joey, are you agreeing with Jorge here?
I'm gonna disagree with Jorge. I completely understand where Jorge's coming from, but I want that elite talent in Tyreek for 2 more years. Because London, while I do like him, he's not exactly proven it to me to be the same price as Tyreek. Because if London's going for 20 and Tyreek is 24, I mean, that's a bargain on Tyreek. Holy cow.
So, Jake, if you're a beautiful bald man, take Jorge's advice.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of hair left on your head like Joey, and by a little bit, I mean a whole freaking head, you asshole.
Actually, I
But
don't
wait a second. I thought
break it down that way. Go ahead.
Isn't it $20 less at 24? So doesn't that make Tyreek?
Oh, I see. If you've watched the show, you know I don't know how to read. So this is where I messed up. So 44 for Tyreek. That would change things. I thought it was 20 and 24. So yeah, go the Drake London side. Joey can't read.
At $20 less, I'm going to take the London side as well, guys, but it is close. That is going to be it for us today, though. Everybody watching, one more reminder, if you're not already following our friend Jorge, go and follow him right now. He's on Twitter at Jorge Martin 17. The link is below us in this video. And Jorge, one more big thanks for coming and hanging out and playing some pole perception with us today.
Thanks, Jorge.
Oh, gracias, mis amigos. I always have fun. I always come off with a smile on my face that just lasts for the whole rest of the day at least.
I'm going to punch you in your mouth when I see you. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I'm going to wipe that grin right off your face on Thursday or Friday when we see each other. Everybody watching, we will be back tomorrow night. And by night, I mean afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more of the Fantasy Football Game Show. Until then, though, we are out of here. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Joey. And thank you, Derrick Henry, for just being fun to watch play football.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow, adios, everybody.
Run.
He's so good.
I'm not.